In this video we're going to talk about welding, joining two pieces of glass together to make them one piece of glass. And to do that with borosilicate you have to have both pieces that you're going to join up to working temperature. That means red hot. Okay, it's going to be molten. You're going to only heat the amount of glass you need to make the join. So I'll heat the tips of these two pieces, then I'll press them together, and I'll let them set for just a moment so that the two glasses will bond together, and then I'll pull it out just ever so slightly to remove any bulges and make it nice and smooth. Need to get both pieces up to working temperature. Just enough glass to make the weld. Press them together, then pull slightly. And I'll hold it until that sets up. And I'll make another join here. Press it together, then pull slightly. And those three pieces of glass are now one piece of glass. And there's no seam, no bulges, nothing that would indicate that those were ever separate pieces of glass. And those are good, solid, permanent bonds. Now while we're talking about that, when you're using punny rods or rotating rods, that type of thing, you have to have it go through the palm of your hand. If you get it too short where you can't hold it through the palm of your hand, you can't rotate it evenly. So you need enough glass for that. That means you end up with things like this, short pieces of glass. That is not waste. There's no reason for you to have much waste with borosilicate glass. When you end up with rods that are fairly short, just join them together. Just like we were talking about a while ago. We'll just heat enough glass to make the join. And I'm rotating these in the fire. Join, pull, and then rotate. I'm going to reheat that just a little bit. Get it nice and smooth. But then keep rotating while it sets up, and you'll end up with a true rod. Okay, one piece. And that's just true as an arrow. Okay, then I can use the rest of that rod. When you have diameters that are more than 10 millimeters, say 12 or so, then you start joining those together, you'll have cracking problems. So in that case, just join it to a smaller rod. There's a piece of 10 joined to 6. And the reason I use 6 because it just happened to be laying around there. So that's really about it for making hot seals or permanent welds. I also want to talk about cold seals. Cold seals are a temporary seal. You're taking two pieces of glass, you're sticking them together, but they're not a permanent seal. You're going to break that off later. So I'll just make an example here. I'll make a Maria on this rod, and then I'll attach a punny to it. Now cold seals are useful for fairly small pieces, small sculptural work, pendants, that type of thing. You don't want to use a cold seal on something that's going to get real heavy because it'll fall off on you. So there I have a Maria on the end. And when we're talking about cold seal, that's not really accurate. That's what we call it, but it's not really an accurate description. Both pieces of glass are hot, too hot to touch. But the punny side is much hotter than the piece that we're going to attach to. So you heat it up red hot, then you let it start to cool, and just as the color starts to go away from it, you attach it. Then if you want it to be true, rotate it. Okay? And now I have a piece, a punny attached with a cold seal. I can come up here and work on this all I want to. And then when I'm finally finished and I want to break that seal, I wrap it against a solid surface on the punny rod, not on the piece I've been working on. Just tap it with the punny rod, and it'll pop right off. Now when you do that, that leaves a sharp little piece of glass on there, okay? I don't think you can probably even see it because the resolution of this camera is not that great. But there's a little sharp piece on the bottom of that. So whenever you use a cold seal and break it off, come back and fire polish that to get rid of that sharp piece. And that's about it for welding for borosilicate. For those of you who may just now be coming into the video series, I am doing these things in a logical sequence, so you should go back to the first of the series, which was on gathers, and go through them in sequence to catch up, because some of the later videos are going to depend upon you having seen the previous ones, particularly the one on rotation and evenly heating, because that's an important part of just about everything going forward. And as far as welding of tubing, I will make a video of that later when we get to hollow form work, and I'll show you how to weld butt seals and T-seals to tubing. So, but that'll be coming later. So, thanks for watching.